Hey Eagles, today we're going to be talking about two words. We're going to talk about color and we're going to talk about pattern. For color, we're going to start with red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue are primary colors. That means that they cannot be made. That's a super fun trivia question to go ask somebody and be like, how do you make red? How do you make blue? How do you make yellow? And they're going to give you all these kind of crazy responses, but you cannot make red, yellow, or blue. But we use those colors to make all the other colors together. Okay, so pattern. I love a good pattern. A rainbow is an example of a pattern. So up there on my rainbow wall, you can see that the rainbow stays in the same pattern. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, right? So it stays in the same. You know, another thing that always stays the same is our color wheel. Here's the small one, and then we have the big one up there on the wall, right? So with the color wheel, it stays in the same pattern. But if we look, because we talked about red, yellow, and blue are primary colors, right? So when we look at the color wheel, if I mix my red and I mix my blue, what color do I get? Purple, right? Or if I mix my red and my yellow, I get orange. And if I mix my yellow and my blue, I get green, right? So that's a great example of a pattern that's going to stay the same. There goes my poster. Today we're also talking about Kandinsky, an artist named Kandinsky. Can you say Kandinsky? Imagine writing that all over your papers. Now, Mr. Kandinsky was not a super fan of drawing. Like we talked about, there are lots of different types of art that don't require drawing. I have so many students who say, and adults, I'm not a good artist. I can't draw. I can't even draw a stick person, right? But there are lots of different types of art that involve zero drawing, okay? But Mr. Kandinsky, he liked to see how colors played together. Now, that does not mean like tag your it. Like he wanted to see how, and not blending, how they would look whenever they were side by side. And he mostly preferred to work in circles. What does Miss Fingers always tell you to do? If you don't know what to draw a whole bunch of circles. So our surface we're gonna work on today are these little things. You know what these are? These are coffee filters, right? So you take your coffee filter, which just so happens to be in the shape of a circle, right? So way back in the olden days, before K-cups, you would take your coffee filter and you would pour your coffee grinds in here, and then hot water goes through, and then magic coffee comes out the bottom. So it'll hold a lot of water, which we're gonna use today, okay? So on your coffee filter that you get, we're just using markers. Now, you can pick any kind of color. You can do any kind of pattern. Maybe you want just warm. Maybe you just want cool. Maybe you want to do an A-B pattern. Maybe you want to do any kind of pattern that you want, but I need you to fill up the whole thing. Okay? So you're going to start with it in the middle, and you can go. And once it's all the way filled up, raise your hand. Also, I would probably not work on top of my folder, because it will go through. And yes, I know my tables will get messy, and that is okay. That's why we clean up, right? After you filled up the whole thing with marker, I will come around with the spray bottle and I will spray it, and you can watch the colors play together. It's really cool. So these are two examples of students. Let's go. These are two examples. Student examples. Ooh. They kind of look like what? Ta-da. That's kind of fancy, isn't it? And you leave them on the table. We'll leave them on the table for gallery walk because they got to take a little bit to dry. If they're not dry by the end of class, we'll just put them over there on the counter to dry. And then we will spray the tables real good and get those all cleaned up. So I can't wait to see what you make.